The rain fell hard on the streets of Seattle that Tuesday evening. Water ran down the windows of Luna's diner like tears on a sad face. Marcus Johnson wiped down the last table in his section and looked at the clock on the wall. Almost closing time. The diner was mostly empty now. Just a few late workers finishing their meals and heading home. Marcus had been working at Luna's for 3 years since college. The pay was not much, but the people were good and the work was honest. He saved every tip he could, dreaming of maybe opening his own small restaurant someday. That's when he saw the old man. The stranger sat alone in the corner booth, the one by the big window. He looked to be about 70 years old, maybe older. His clothes were wrinkled and dirty. His gray hair was messy, like he had been sleeping outside. His hands shook a little as he counted coins on the table. Marcus watched the old man count the money 3 times. Each time, the man's face got sadder. There were only a few coins there. Maybe $2 at most. The old man looked up at the menu on the wall. His eyes moved to the prices. Coffee was $3. A simple sandwich was $8. The cheapest thing on the menu was still more than the money he had. Marcus felt something tight in his chest. He had seen this before. People who were hungry but did not have enough money. It always made him sad. The old man sat there for 10 minutes, just staring at his coins. He looked out the window at the rain. Then he looked at the warm food other people were eating. His stomach made a soft growling sound. Finally, the old man raised his hand to call Marcus over. "Excuse me, young man," the old man said. His voice was quiet and polite. "How much is just a small cup of coffee?" "The regular coffee, nothing fancy." Marcus looked at the coins on the table. $3, sir." The old man nodded slowly. He counted his money again. "I see. Well, I think I made a mistake coming in here. I thought I had more money than this." He started to put the coins back in his pocket. "I'm sorry to bother you." "Wait," Marcus said quickly. Something in the old man's voice made him want to help. "Please, just give me 1 minute." Marcus walked to the kitchen. His manager, Carol, was cleaning the grill. "Carol, can I buy some food for myself?" "Sure, honey. You know, the employee discount makes everything half price for you." Marcus nodded. He took out his own money from his tips that day. $23. It was supposed to be for his bus pass and lunch tomorrow. But looking at the old man made him think of his own grandfather, who had died last year. He ordered coffee, soup, a sandwich, and a piece of apple pie. "This is to go," he told the cook. Marcus brought the bag of food to the old man's table. "Sir, I made a mistake with your order earlier. We had some extra food in the kitchen and the manager said to give it to you." "No charge." The old man looked confused. "But I didn't order anything yet." "I know, but we don't like to waste food here. Please take it." "The coffee is exactly how you like it, I'm sure." The old man's eyes filled with tears. "Son, you don't have to do this. I can see you paid for this yourself. I saw you talking to your manager." Marcus sat down across from the old man. "My grandfather always told me that when you help someone, you never know how much it might mean to them. Maybe today you needed help, and maybe tomorrow I will need help. That's how the world should work." The old man was quiet for a long moment, then he smiled and his whole face changed. "What's your name, son?" "Marcus Johnson." "Well, Marcus Johnson, you just did something very special. More special than you know." The old man ate slowly, like he was enjoying every bite. They talked about small things while he ate. The weather, the city, how long Marcus had worked at the diner. The old man asked good questions and listened carefully to every answer. When the old man finished eating, he stood up and shook Marcus's hand. "Thank you, Marcus. You have a good heart. I won't forget this kindness. You don't need to thank me, sir. Just stay warm out there." The old man smiled again. "My name is William Carter. And Marcus, I have a feeling we'll see each other again." Very soon, William walked out into the rain, and Marcus watched him disappear into the dark street. Marcus had no idea that he had just changed his life forever. He also had no idea that William Carter was about to change the whole world. 3 days later, Marcus arrived at Luna's diner for his morning shift. The sun was bright, and the street looked different from that rainy Tuesday night. He pushed through the front door, expecting to see Carol setting up for the breakfast rush. Instead, he found three men in expensive black suits sitting at a table near the window. They wore dark sunglasses even though they were inside. One of them was typing on a laptop computer that looked more advanced than anything Marcus had ever seen. "Marcus Johnson?" The tallest man stood up. He was maybe 40 years old, with short brown hair and a serious face. "Yes, that's me. Are you health inspectors or something?" "No, Mr. Johnson. We're here about William Carter." Marcus felt his stomach drop. "Oh no, did something happen to him? Is he okay?" The man smiled for the first time. "He's perfectly fine. In fact, he's waiting to meet you. Would you please come with us?" "I have to work. My shift starts in 10 minutes. We already spoke with your manager. She said to take all the time you need." Marcus looked around the empty diner. This was very strange. Carol never let anyone take time off without notice. "Where is Carol?" She stepped out for a moment. "Mr. Johnson, please don't worry. You're not in any trouble. Mr. Carter simply wants to thank you properly for your kindness." The man gestured toward the door. A long black car was waiting outside. Marcus had never seen a car like it before. It looked like something important people would ride in. "I don't understand. He already thanked me." "And who are you guys?" "We work for Mr. Carter, and there are some things about him that you should know." Marcus felt nervous, but something told him these men were not dangerous. He got in the car with them. The ride took 30 minutes. They drove through parts of Seattle Marcus had never seen before. Big houses with perfect lawns, tall buildings made of glass and steel. Finally, they stopped in front of the biggest building Marcus had ever been inside. The sign outside said, "Carter Industries." "Wait," Marcus said as they walked toward the entrance. "Carter Industries? The company that builds spaceships for NASA?" "Among other things, yes." They took an elevator to the top floor. The doors opened to show an office bigger than Marcus's entire apartment. Behind a huge wooden desk sat William Carter. But he looked completely different now. Gone were the dirty clothes and messy hair. William wore a perfect gray suit and tie. His hair was combed neat. He looked like a man who owned the world. "Hello, Marcus," William said, standing up with a big smile. "Please, sit down. We have a lot to talk about." Marcus felt like he was dreaming. "Mr. Carter? I don't understand." "You were homeless. You didn't have money for coffee," William laughed. "I wasn't homeless, Marcus. I was testing something. Something very important." "Testing what?" William walked to the big window that showed the whole city below. "I was testing people. For months. I've been traveling around the country, pretending to be poor and hungry. I wanted to see how people would treat a stranger who needed help." "Why?" "Because I needed to find someone special. Someone with a good heart and no selfish reasons for being kind." William turned back to Marcus. "Do you know how many people I met in those months?" Marcus shook his head. 437. "Do you know how many people helped me the way you did?" "I have no idea." 7. Only 7 people in 437 meetings showed real kindness to a stranger. "And you, Marcus?" "You were the best of them all." Marcus felt confused and a little angry. "So this was all fake? You lied to me?" "The test was real, but my gratitude is completely real too. Marcus, I'm 73 years old. I built this company from nothing and made more money than I could spend in 10 lifetimes. But I never had children. I have no family left." William sat down across from Marcus. His eyes were serious now. "I've been looking for someone to trust with something very important. Something that will change the world forever. And after watching you for 3 days, I believe you might be that person." "Watching me?" "My security team has been making sure you're as good as you seemed that night. And you are, Marcus. You give your lunch money to homeless people. You work extra shifts to help your coworkers. You send half your paycheck to your mother in another state." Marcus felt uncomfortable. "You've been spying on me?" "Protecting you. Because what I'm about to tell you is so important that there are people who would hurt you to keep it secret." William opened a drawer in his desk and pulled out a folder marked Top Secret. Marcus, for the last 12 years, this company has been receiving messages from space. Not from satellites or space stations, from intelligent beings on other planets. And next week, they're coming to Earth to meet us. Marcus stared at William for a long moment, then he started to laugh. Okay. This is a joke, right? Someone is playing a trick on me. William's face stayed completely serious. I've never been more serious about anything in my life. And Marcus, they specifically asked to meet someone like you. Someone who shows kindness without expecting anything back. They said that's the most important thing about humans. Marcus stopped laughing. Something in William's eyes told him this was real. You're telling me that aliens are coming to Earth and they want to meet me because I bought you coffee? That's exactly what I'm telling you. Marcus sat in silence for 5 whole minutes. He looked at the folder on William's desk, then at the old man's serious face, then out the window at the city below. Finally, he spoke. This is crazy. I serve coffee for a living. I barely finished. College? You want me to meet aliens from space? William nodded. I know it sounds impossible. But Marcus, these beings have been watching Earth for a very long time. They study how we treat each other. They said they will only trust humans who show kindness to strangers without any reason to do so. But why me? There must be presidents and scientists and important people who could do this better. That's exactly why not them, William said. The aliens told us that powerful people often have hidden reasons for being nice. They want someone pure, someone real. Marcus stood up and walked to the window. The city looked so normal from up here. People going to work, cars driving around, everyone living their regular lives. How could aliens be coming to change everything? What if I say no? Then I'll find someone else. But Marcus, I don't think there is anyone else like you. Marcus thought about his mother back in Ohio. She raised him by herself after his father died. She taught him to help people because it was the right thing to do. What would she say about all this? If I say yes, what happens? William smiled. First, you need training. Lots of training. We have a special place where you'll learn everything. You need to know what kind of training. How to communicate with beings who think differently than humans. How their technology works. How to be a diplomat between two worlds. Marcus turned around. How long do I have to decide? The aliens arrive in 6 weeks. I need your answer today. Marcus closed his eyes. This was the biggest decision of his life, bigger than anything he ever imagined having to choose. If I do this, will I still be me? Will I still be able to see my family? Of course. Marcus, you're not becoming someone else. You're becoming the best version of yourself. Marcus took a deep breath. Okay, I'll try. 2 days later, Marcus was on a plane to Montana. He had never been on a plane before. The view from the window was amazing, but he was too nervous to enjoy it. The training facility was hidden in the mountains. It looked like a normal office building from outside, but inside it was full of technology Marcus had never seen. Computers, with screens that looked like windows into space. Rooms where gravity worked differently. Machines that could translate any language instantly. On his first day, Marcus met Dr. Lisa Rodriguez. She was about 30 years old with dark hair and smart brown eyes. She knew more about space and alien life than anyone else on Earth. Don't look so scared, Lisa said when she saw Marcus's face. I was terrified when I first came here too. But this is the most exciting thing that has ever happened to humans. How long have you known about the aliens? 3 years. I've been studying their messages and learning their language. They're called the Kepler Collective, and they come from a star system 47 light-years away. Marcus also met Captain Jake Mitchell, who would fly the ship that would meet the aliens. Jake was a former Air Force pilot with short blonde hair and a confident smile. He seemed like the kind of person who was never afraid of anything. You're going to do great, Jake told Marcus during their first training session. You know why? Because you don't think you're special. That's exactly what makes you special. The training was harder than anything Marcus had ever done. He had to learn about alien culture, space technology, and how to speak for all of Earth. Some days he wanted to quit and go back to Luna's diner, But then he would remember William's words about finding someone pure and real. He would think about his mother, who always helped their neighbors even when they had very little money themselves. He would remember that night in the diner when helping an old stranger felt like the most natural thing in the world. After 2 weeks of training, something amazing happened. Marcus was practicing alien communication when he suddenly understood something that had confused the other scientists for months. The aliens didn't just use words to talk, they used emotions and feelings too. How did you figure that out, Doctor? Rodriguez asked, looking at Marcus with surprise. I don't know, it just felt right. Like when you can tell someone is sad even when they say they're okay. Marcus, she said slowly, I think you have a natural gift for this. From that day on, the training became easier. Marcus still had a lot to learn, but he started to believe that maybe he really could do this impossible thing. On his last night at the facility, Marcus called his mother. Mom, I can't tell you everything about my new job, but I want you to know that everything you taught me about being kind to people is helping me do something really important. I'm proud of you, son, she said. Whatever you're doing, just remember to stay yourself. As Marcus hung up the phone, he looked out at the stars and wondered which one held the aliens who were coming to meet him. In just 2 weeks, he would find out. The day finally came. Marcus stood on the bridge of the New Horizons, Earth's newest diplomatic spacecraft. Through the big windows, he could see the moon getting bigger as they approached it. His hands were shaking, but not from fear anymore. He was excited. There it is, Captain Jake Mitchell said, pointing to something near the moon that looked like empty space. Marcus squinted. I don't see anything. Watch carefully, Dr. Lisa Rodriguez said, adjusting something on her computer. They're about to show themselves. Suddenly, space itself seemed to bend and twist. Like looking at the bottom of a swimming pool, everything got wavy. Then, as if someone had turned on a giant light, the biggest ship Marcus had ever imagined appeared right in front of them. It was beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The ship was silver and blue, and it seemed to change shape as Marcus watched it. Parts of it looked solid, while other parts looked like they were made of light itself. Dear God, Jake whispered, it's even bigger than we thought. The ship was at least 10 times larger than their own vessel. It had no sharp edges anywhere. Everything curved and flowed like it had grown instead of being built. Marcus, they're sending us a message, Lisa said. It's for you specifically. Marcus put on the special headset they had given him during training. Immediately, he heard a voice in his mind. But it wasn't just words, it was feelings and images too. Welcome, Marcus of Earth. We are honored to meet the one who shows kindness without expecting reward. We are the Kepler Collective. Will you come aboard our vessel? Marcus spoke into his microphone, knowing the aliens would understand. We would be honored to meet you too. Yes, we'll come aboard. A beam of soft light surrounded their ship. Marcus felt strange for a moment, like he was floating even though his feet were still on the floor. When the feeling stopped, they were inside the alien ship. The first thing Marcus noticed was how warm and peaceful everything felt. The walls glowed with soft colors that seemed to match his emotions. When he felt nervous, they turned blue. When he felt curious, they turned yellow. Then he saw them. The aliens were tall, about 7 feet, and they moved like dancers. Their skin was pale silver and seemed to glow from inside. They had large eyes that looked kind and wise. They wore clothes that looked like they were made from starlight. Welcome, friends from Earth, said the one in front. I am Keeper Zerahai, speaker for our people. Marcus stepped forward. His training kicked in, and he felt more confident. Thank you for this honor, Keeper Zerahai. I am Marcus Johnson, and these are my friends Dr. Lisa Rodriguez and Captain Jake Mitchell. Keeper Zerahai smiled, and Marcus could feel the warmth of it in his mind. We have watched your species for many years, Marcus. We see great potential in humans, but also great danger. What kind of danger? Lisa asked. Your people are young and sometimes violent. Some of us believe humans are not ready to join the galactic community. Jake stepped forward. We're here to prove that we are ready. Suddenly, the peaceful feeling in the room changed. The walls turned dark red. Another alien entered the room. and Marcus could feel anger coming from this one like heat from a fire. "I am Commander Zix," the new alien said, "and I believe this meeting is a mistake." Commander Zix was bigger than the others and moved differently. Where Keeper Zeraha felt warm, this one felt cold and dangerous. "Humans are destroyers," Commander Zixtage continued. "You make war on your own kind. You poison your own planet. You are cruel to those who are different from you." The commander waved his hand, and images appeared in the air around them. Pictures of wars, pollution, people being mean to each other. Marcus felt sick seeing all the bad things humans had done. "You choose this one human," Commander Zixith pointed at Marcus, "because he bought food for an old man. But one act of kindness does not erase a species of violence." Marcus felt all his confidence disappear. Everything the commander said was true. Humans did terrible things to each other and to their planet. How could he defend that? But then he remembered something his mother had told him when he was little. "Son, being good isn't about being perfect. It's about trying to do better every day." Marcus looked Commander Zixith in the eyes. "You're right. Humans do bad things. We fight wars and hurt our planet and are sometimes cruel to each other. But that's not the whole story." "Then tell me the rest," Commander Zixith said coldly. "We also help each other. When disasters happen, people from around the world send help. When children are sick, strangers give money to help them get better. When someone is lost, people look for them even if they don't know them." Marcus felt stronger as he spoke. "Yes, we're young and we make mistakes, but we're learning. We're getting better. And the thing that makes humans special isn't that we're perfect. It's that we keep trying to be better." Keeper Zerahai looked pleased, but Commander Zixith just looked angry. "Pretty words," the commander said, "but words are easy. If humans want to join the galactic community, they must prove their worth through actions." "What kind of actions?" Marcus asked. Commander Zixith smiled, but it wasn't a nice smile. "Tests. 3 tests that will show what humans are really made of. If you pass, we will welcome Earth into our confederation. If you fail... double quotes the commander let the threat hang in the air. "We accept," Marcus said before Jake or Lisa could stop. Marcus," Lisa whispered. "We should talk about this first." But Marcus felt in his heart that this was the right choice. "We accept your tests." Commander Zixith's smile grew wider. "Excellent. Let the testing begin." The first test began immediately. Commander Zix waved his hand, and the walls around them disappeared. Marcus, Lisa, and Jake found themselves standing in what looked like a giant control room filled with screens and buttons they had never seen before. "Your first test is technological innovation under pressure," Commander Zixtage announced. "Your planet Earth is about to be hit by a massive asteroid. You have 2 hours to use our technology to save your world." Marcus looked at the alien controls. In panic, everything was written in symbols he didn't understand. The screens showed a huge rock flying through space, heading straight for Earth. "But we don't know how to use your technology," Lisa said. "That is the point of the test," Keeper Zerahai said gently. Can humans learn quickly when lives are at stake? Jake started pressing buttons, but nothing happened. This is impossible. We need months of training to understand this stuff. Marcus stared at the screens showing Earth getting closer to destruction. Then he remembered something from his training. The aliens didn't just use technology with their hands. They used their emotions and thoughts too. Wait, Marcus said. Lisa, remember what you taught me about alien communication? They don't just think with their brains. They feel with their machines. Marcus placed his hands on a smooth panel and tried to feel what it needed. Instead of trying to understand the symbols, he thought about protecting Earth. He imagined pushing the asteroid away from his home planet. Suddenly, the panel lit up with colors. The symbols changed into English words that Marcus could read. It worked! Lisa shouted. She and Jake quickly copied what Marcus did, placing their hands on other panels and thinking about saving Earth, working together. They figured out how to fire energy beams at the asteroid. With 30 minutes left, they broke it into small pieces that burned up harmlessly in Earth's atmosphere. Commander Zix looked surprised but not pleased. Interesting. A technology is easy compared to moral choices. Your second test begins now. The control room changed into something that looked like the United Nations building. Marcus found himself sitting at a big table with world leaders from every country on Earth. But these weren't real people. They were holograms created by the aliens. A terrible disease is spreading across your planet, Commander Zix explained. We have medicine that can cure it, but only enough for half of Earth's population. You must decide who lives and who dies. The holographic leaders immediately started arguing. The president of one country wanted to save only his own people.
Another leader said they should save the youngest people first. A third said they should save the smartest people. Marcus felt sick listening to them. How could anyone choose who deserved to live? This isn't right, Marcus said, standing up. No, one should have to make this choice. But you must choose, Commander Zixith said. This is how the universe works. Resources are limited. Choices must be made. Marcus looked at Lisa and Jake. They both looked as horrified as he felt. Then Marcus had an idea. What if we don't use your medicine at all? Marcus said. Everyone in the room stared at him. You would let everyone die? One of the holographic leaders asked. No. What if instead of choosing who to save, we work together to make more medicine, or find a different cure, or help people in other ways? Commander Zixith frowned. That is not one of your choices. Then we make it a choice, Marcus said firmly. Humans are good at finding new solutions when the old ones don't work. Marcus turned to the holographic leaders. Instead of fighting about who gets the medicine, what if we shared all our medical knowledge? What if we worked together like we've never worked together before? Slowly, the holograms stopped arguing. They started talking about sharing resources, combining research, and helping each other. The test ended with humanity choosing cooperation over competition. Commander Zixith looked even more annoyed. Your final test will not be so easy to avoid. The room changed again. Now Marcus was back on Earth, standing in the middle of a destroyed city. Buildings were on fire. People were running and screaming. Alien ships filled the sky, shooting down at everything. This is what will happen if you fail, Commander Zixith said, his voice echoing from everywhere. But you can stop it. Oh, you have to do is sacrifice yourself. Give your life, and we will leave Earth alone. Marcus looked around at the destruction. He could hear children crying and people calling for help. His heart broke seeing all the pain and fear. Marcus, don't listen to him, Jake said. This has to be another trick. But Marcus wasn't listening to Jake. He was thinking about his mother, about the people at Luna's diner, about every kind person he had ever met. Could he let them all die to save his own life? If I die, you promise to leave Earth alone? Marcus asked. I promise, Commander. Zix said. Marcus closed his eyes and thought about the old man in the diner who had changed his life. William Carter had been looking for someone who would help others without expecting anything back. Maybe this was what he had been preparing for all along. I accept, Marcus said. Take my life and spare my planet. The moment Marcus said those words, everything changed. The destroyed city disappeared. Commander Zixith's angry expression melted away. Even his appearance changed, becoming smaller and less frightening. The test is complete, said a new voice. Marcus turned to see beings he had never seen before. They were taller than the Kepler Collective and seemed to be made of pure light. Who are you? Marcus asked. We are the Galactic Council, the light being said. And you, Marcus of Earth, have just passed a test that very few species ever pass. Marcus felt confused. What test? Keeper Zerahai stepped forward, smiling warmly. The test wasn't just for humans, Marcus. It was for the Kepler Collective, too. We were being tested on how we would treat a younger species. Commander Zixith, who now looked much more friendly, nodded. I was playing a role, Marcus. Testing. Whether you would choose sacrifice over selfishness. and whether my people would choose wisdom over fear. The light being spoke again. Most species, when faced with these tests, choose to save themselves, but humans chose innovation, cooperation, and sacrifice. And the Kepler Collective chose to test fairly rather than simply reject you. Marcus felt like his head was spinning. So none of it was real? Your choices were real, the light being said. And they have earned humanity a place among the stars.